My name's Nick. I started Nick's TV Repair just over 10 years ago, and since then we have fixed over 25,000 devices. In today's video, we're going to be fixing this Hisense with model number 65H6570G, and here's what's going on. When I apply power, we get our red standby light, but with the remote, when I turn it on, all we get is a quick little flash from the red light, and that is it. Nothing else happens. We don't get picture, no backlight. So let's open it up and find out what's going on. If you're not sure how to remove the back cover or the main board, we will have a video linked in the video description down below, as well as at the end of this video. So my first step is going to be to take a quick voltage measurement out of the power supply. We have some 12-volt lines at the very bottom left. So very bottom left pin over here, and I'm going to apply power. Let's see what we get. We get 12 volts. I'm going to sit on there for just a minute here. But because we're getting 12 volts from the power supply, that does tell me that the power supply is in working condition, and that is not going to be the issue. The main board most likely is going to be the cause of our fault here. Now, it is possible that you might be getting 9 volts instead of the 12, and if that's the case, that's actually probably going to be okay. I'd encourage you to press the power button and see if you can get that 12 volt to pop up. But in our scenario, we're all set here, so let's take a look at the main board. There are only 2 circuit boards in that TV that can cause the issue we're experiencing, which are the power supply and the main board. Since we've ruled out the power supply as being the fault, since it is giving the proper 12 volts to the main board, that means that by process of elimination, the main board has to be the issue. Now, most commonly, the EmMC chip, which is the software chip on the main board, fails and will cause these malfunctions. The chip is located underneath the heatsink, so let's remove that heatsink and take a closer look at it. We're going to flip the board over to the back, and there are 2 plastic clips. We're going to pinch them and push them through, and our heatsink falls right off. And this chip over here, to the right of our processor chip, is our EmMC chip. Now, there's no way for us to actually detect if it is a functional chip without first removing it out of circuit and putting it in our EmMC programmer. The programmer itself will let us know whether or not the chip itself is defective or if the software on the chip is defective. So let's go ahead and remove it. We are now going to place the EmMC into our socket, and let's go ahead and check it. And it looks like there is a warning. Maybe your EmMC is damaged. EmMC is unusable. So that does confirm to us that our EmMC is defective and did need to be replaced. Now that we've installed a new EmMC chip, we're going to want to clean up the old thermal paste off of the processor and the heatsink. And the reason we're doing this is because a lot of the times this thermal paste dries out, gets a little crusty, and by removing and reinstalling the heatsink, we may not have proper contact between the chip and the heatsink itself. For this processor, we're going to be using the Ceramic 2 thermal paste. We don't need to use as fancy, high-quality thermal paste just because this chip does not get as hot. All right, now that we have a good even spread, we'll put the heatsink back on. All right, and now we are ready to install the main board back into the TV and see if everything works. The main board is back in our TV. We're going to go ahead and power it up and see what we get. We do have our red standby light. Let's go ahead and power it on. And we have 1, 2, 3 blinks, and the TV did not turn on. So we do have different symptoms. Let's try one more time. 1, 2, so it's supposed to blink a few times and then power on, but we're not getting that. I believe that this TV actually has 2 separate failures. We had our EmMC that we obviously detected as faulty, and I believe that now that we are getting different symptoms, we may actually have LED failures. So we're going to check our LEDs next. To do that, we're going to be using our LED tester, and we have the TV disconnected from power. We're going to also disconnect our LED connector here, and we're going to connect our negative black lead with the negative white lead of the connector here, and our positive red with the red wire. And we're going to take a look. We are not, in fact, drawing any power. So it's saying 0 milliamps, 333 volts. So it's not drawing any power whatsoever. That tells me we have an open circuit with our LEDs. So we've just installed the mainboard in our actual test TV that we use for live testing these mainboards, troubleshooting them, and so on. The issue we were experiencing with the original TV we were fixing here today is that it both had a mainboard and LED strip failure. While we did have a successful repair on the mainboard, we did not have a full repair on the TV yet. In order to do that, we'll probably have to do a video part 2 with the LED strip replacements. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to have to call it a successful repair for the mainboard. If you have a mainboard you would like to send in for us to fix, we do have that flat rate service available. That'll be in the description down below. Otherwise, if you found the content helpful or useful, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.